Is it possible to run for fitness at 400 pounds? I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of advice against it, but I think I've worked out a way that might actually work. After losing 165 pounds and completing 2 5Ks just walking, I talked to my doctor and discovered some specific strategies that might make running possible at this weight. Not comfortable or easy, but possible. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you the exact medical advice I received, the gear that protects my joints, and my training plan to run an entire 5K. You don't have to be 400 pounds for this to apply, so stick around if you're interested in running while slightly out of shape at least. Let me back up and give you some context on my journey. I started my weight loss journey at 560 pounds last April. Right now, I'm at about 395. I'm 6'4", so that puts me at a BMI of 48.7. If you've been following along with my weight loss journey, you'll see that this week I'm still well on track to hit my goal of 350 pounds by the end of the year. If you haven't been following along, welcome. Feel free to subscribe down below if you want to join me on my journey. So, one of the major factors that finally spurred me to lose weight in the first place was how hard it was to even just walk a mile. And I was 27 at the time, so I don't know, I had a moment where I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. So aiming for distance running events was sort of a natural end goal for me. So up to this point, I've completed 2 5Ks just walking. I did get a little bit faster in the second one, with that time being 54 minutes. Finishing the first 5K was an amazing feeling. Seriously, it's maybe the highlight of my journey so far. So why running? Well, it's sort of the next natural step. I've been walking, and running feels like the progression. Plus, these 5K times give me something real to measure, a tangible number that shows me that I'm actually getting fitter. Plus, running is obviously the keystone cardio exercise, and it's obviously great for weight loss, and that is my main goal here after all. So, any progress in this area is a huge win. So, that's why I wanted to start running. But before I could even take my first steps, I had to figure out how to overcome 2 major obstacles. Obstacle number 1 is risk of injury, especially to my knees. And obstacle number 2 is the sheer physical difficulty of running at this weight. Let me break both of these down and show you what I've done so far. Let's start with the first one, and honestly, it's definitely still a concern. Is this going to destroy my knees? So I talked to my primary care doctor about it, and he said I should probably be fine if I kept a couple of things in mind while getting started. He gave me 2 specific recommendations. First, run on softer surfaces like dirt or grass, not concrete or asphalt. The softer the surface, the less impact on your joints. Given that I live in a metropolitan area, this one's a little bit tougher, but something I try to do if possible. Second was to get some extremely cushy shoes. So I went to a real running shoe store. They actually analyze how you walk and run in the shoes. They watch you move, see how your feet land, check if you're pronating or supinating, all that kind of stuff. I highly recommend doing this for yourself if you're serious about starting to run, especially at a heavier weight. They got me into some Brooks Ghost Max shoes, and they're definitely super cushy. And getting properly fit was a game changer. They tried out a bunch of shoes, and the ones I was actually planning on buying from recommendations that I saw online actually really didn't work for my feet at all. So I'm glad I ended up going, and I really recommend you do the same. So we've covered my journey so far and the injury risk, how I'm protecting my knees with the right shoes and running on the right surfaces. Next, we'll talk about the physical challenges. So running at 400 pounds is just really hard. Even power walking is hard. I don't think people really fully appreciate how much effort it takes to move this much weight around. It's exhausting. You know, when I started going to the gym, my arms were super weak, pretty embarrassingly weak, but my legs, I could just about max out the leg press machine immediately. And that's all because I've been carrying all this weight around every single day. For a few months at work, the elevator was broken and I had to walk up 6 flights of stairs every day. But when you weigh this much, those are basically leg press reps. So my legs are really strong from that. But when I try to run, it takes a lot out of me, cardio-wise. And right now, I can't do it for very long. But there is a bright side, because when you're exerting yourself that hard at this weight, you burn so many calories. when I was walking my last 5K, my Apple Watch estimated that I burned 1,200 calories, which is a ton. So the solution is to start out slow, really slow. I'm talking interval training. That means switching between running and walking, run a little, walk a little, run a little more, walk a little more. The goal is to gradually build up my cardiovascular fitness. So between that and continuing to lose weight, running will definitely get easier over time. Now that we've addressed the injury risk and accepted the physical challenge, I needed an actual plan to follow. So I looked at a bunch of different apps and programs, Couch to 5K programs, running apps, all that kind of stuff. And I finally settled on this one called None to Run. So why this one? Well, they have programs for different fitness levels, but what I liked is that you can start like comically slow, which is what I need, and gradually ramp up. Right now, I'm doing their Run Ready plan. It's mostly just walking, with just a little bit of running sprinkled in. Not that much running, just a little. You walk for 5 minutes and then run for like 30 seconds, and you alternate that 5 times. There's also a step where you do some muscle strengthening exercises to minimize the risk of injury, and I was really attracted to that as well. So after I finish that, I'll move on to the None to Run plan. That one is 12 weeks long. The goal of that one is to get you comfortable running 25 minutes straight. And if I can do that, I'll feel super accomplished. Of course, I won't finish that until mid-January, so I'm planning on being under 350 pounds by then, which would help for sure. And throughout all of this, I'm planning to do a 5K every 1 to 2 months, so I'll have several 5Ks during these training programs. That gives me measurable progress points. I can see my times getting better. Hopefully. The next one is on October 25th, so I won't even be done with the first program yet, but I'll be happy if I can beat my 54-minute time from last time, and I'll try and run some. So that's where I'm at right now, just getting started. But here's what's coming next. I'll be making follow-up videos documenting my progress, how the training is going, results from the 5K events, any new findings or lessons I learn, etc. If you're new to the channel here, welcome. I've been documenting my weight loss journey here on YouTube for a few months, so feel free to check out my first video where I break down my entire weight loss journey. What worked, what didn't, where I'm headed, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up videos as I progress through this running challenge. I'll be sharing 5K results, training updates, and everything I learn along the way. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.